we have discussed what is commerce, what is e-commerce, the barter system of trade. Today we are going to talk about occupation. When we talk of occupation, what comes to your mind? Occupation is just simply activities we get involved in, services we get involved in order for us to look for our daily living, to satisfy our desired wants. Occupation are activities we get involved in order to earn a living, to satisfy our daily wants, to satisfy our desires, to meet up with the standard of living so we can survive as humans. So put simply, occupation is any economic or productive activities which people engage into in order to create and produce goods and services in order to make a living. The major point is, one, things people get involved in, things people engage in. Then another thing is production of goods or services. Then the final one is to make a living. It is an activity. This activity can include either production of goods or providing of services. And then finally, all of this put together is for the individual to make a living. Have something on the table to satisfy your wants, to take care of your immediate need, to take care of your livelihood, to take care of your wants and need as a human. So now we're going to use a diagram to explain what occupation is. Remember, we talk about production and we'll talk about services to make a living. So occupation can be categorized into three main areas: the industrial areas, the commerce area, and then the service area. This is the three main areas occupation covers. Under the industry, we have the extractive industry, the manufacturing industry, and the constructive industry. Under commerce, we talk about trades and aids to trade. Then under services, we have direct services and indirect services. Now, if you look at the board now, you see this is occupation. These are the categories it is broken into: industry, commerce, and services. Now we're going to take them one at a point, but I'm not going to deliberate more on commerce because we have dealt with that area, trade and commerce. If you have not watched our videos on trade, or you've not watched our class on commerce, go back, because I deliberated on what trade is, what are aids to trade. We'll talk about home trade, foreign trade. We'll talk about import and export. We'll talk about aids to trade, advertising, communication, insurance, tourism, and the rest of them. Go back, watch that video. That will help you to understand this commerce area of our diagram. So under the industry, under the extractive industry, that is to say, you extract raw materials from its raw natural state that God has made it. Like for example, those who goes to fishing gets fish from the rivers. Those who mine gold go down there to mine gold from the earth crust. And these extractive bits, those who look for crude get down there to extract crude from the earth. So for the extractive area, it has to be in its natural state. They get it from its natural state as nature has it. We go to the constructive industry. Those are the people who construct our roads, our bridges. They make blocks and bricks, the plumbers, the electrician, and the rest of them. These people are under the constructive industry. They put in things from the natural source into finished product for construction. The rod, the stones, the milestones, other things they put together to make a whole of what will benefit us in the constructive industrial areas. Then we have manufacturing. Other manufacturing will have the textiles. Other manufacturing will have food manufacturing companies, and we have individual industrial workers that works in different industries to make manufacturing possible. Under the food manufacturing industry, we have our beverages, we have our snacks, and the rest of them. Under the textiles, we have our clothing of different type. Then under the industrial workers, they produce different products that will serve our needs, that we can consume to satisfy our wants. Then other commerce, I'm not deliberating on that. We have trade, we have retailing and wholesale. Retailing, buy different products in small quantity for final consumer. Wholesaler buy in bulk from producers to sell to retailers or to final consumers. Then aids to trade, we have advertising, communication, banking, insurance, tourism, e-commerce, warehousing. Go to our commerce class or on our trade class in business study, you will understand this point. I'm not going to deliberate more on this point. Then we'll have services. Other services will have direct service and indirect service. Direct service have to do with services that you are directly involved and satisfaction is given to you immediately. For example, barbing. You go to a barbing salon, you go to a hairdressing salon, your hair is done and you see what they have done on you and you get your satisfaction just immediately. We have stewards, chefs, people who cook. You are there in a restaurant, you're there in a hotel, you are served your food, you eat it, you get satisfaction immediately. So direct service gives us direct satisfaction as we need it at that particular time that serves our need. But then we have another kind of services, indirect. It's not given to you one-on-one, but invariably you are getting it. For example, the soldiers do not work for us directly, but they protect our country. They are security conscious. They make sure there is peaceful environment for people. So indirectly you are receiving their services because you want to live in peace. We have the government. All of us are being governed by government. People we have put into power, voted into power to govern us. We don't grab government, but we feel the influence of governance. Police don't come to us, but they protect our territories, just like the soldier, and will report criminal activities or whatever that bug us that they need to be reported to the police. So occupation serves three areas: industry, commerce, and services. Whichever occupation you get yourself involved, it falls within these three range, and you see the activities that happen therein. I'm going to talk about industrial and commerce. What are industrial occupation and what are commercial occupation? Let's look at three areas that commercial occupation and services, occupational services differs in three areas. In commercial occupation, we have buying and selling, but in services, we have services are required. Either direct services or indirect services are required. In commercial activity, trade and other aids to trade are involved. But then, in commercial activities, it gives direct services to individuals, direct or indirect services to individuals. But the other one have to do with trade and other aids that aids trading. The third one is that they get goods and services for satisfaction. People get goods and services for their own satisfaction at the immediate point. But this one only renders services. Only services are required. But this gives you goods, get goods and services for satisfaction. So these are just few points, 3 points here that distinguishes commercial and services. In our next class, we'll talk of other commercial areas that affect our businesses and affect our life. Thank you for dropping by. Until I come your way next time, bye.